Okay, so did all of you get the short conversation that happened between Mike and Yellow here? It's basically pretty simple, right? Basically, Mike was explaining to Yellow he didn't have any knowledge about CSR, explaining to the basic things. He basically touched on three important things: the definition of CSR, why companies do CSR, and the very many examples of CSR, which is the areas in which companies can contribute. So, we played out this story because we assume that Yellow is just like all of you, having no knowledge of CSR. So sorry about that. Yellow is just like all of you without any knowledge about CSR. So you will notice that towards the end, Yellow did gain some knowledge. So we'll assume that you all did as well. So let's put it to a test. We'll be having a short quiz of 3 questions in the area, and then prizes to be won. Right, so the first question: which of these are keywords in the definition of CSR? Positive impact, operations, stakeholders, and profit. So let's answer this question. B, 1 and 3. Let's see the answer is correct. That's right. 1 and 3 is positive impact and stakeholders is 2 of the keywords that we presented. The other 2 keywords are responsible businesses and beyond the requirement of the law. Remember, these are the key words in the definition of CSR. Now let's move on to the second question. Which of these reasons companies do CSR was not mentioned in the conversation? That's correct. Yes, so the other 3 was mentioned by Mike just now, which are the reasons why companies do CSR. They actually have another word to say, like, for example, it's the right thing to do because it brings value. Value to the company because it increases their reputation. Compliance is the thing you must do. Nowadays, a lot of countries are making it mandatory for companies to produce CSR reports and comply with CSR regulations. And last but not least, competitive advantage is the thing you can do to make money. A lot of companies have actually testified that they have increased their revenue and decreased their operation costs by doing CSR. And the last question: which of the following examples of CSR were mentioned in the story? Only A, I'm afraid that's not the right answer. Let's see. That's all 3 was mentioned in the story. So there are actually 4 main areas in CSR that were highlighted in the framework of Busan, Malaysia. One being the marketplace, which covers the shareholders, and most of the time we do this by establishing proper corporate governance. That is how the companies contribute CSR in the marketplace. Next up is the workplace. Of course, it covers the employees. By taking care of the welfare of the employees and the security and safety, they are contributing to CSR. Another area would be the environment. The environment, of course, there are many ways to contribute to the environment. Now, the famous topics like climate change and sustainability of energy and water. And last but not least, it is the community. Of course, companies live in the community. They get their revenue from the community, so this CSR is one of the ways that they should be giving back. So, I've basically summarized the basic idea of CSR to all of you. I hope you've learned, got the basic understanding from that. So now let me highlight some other interesting aspects of CSR that I can share with you. Basically, it's what is spurring the current CSR trend, why is it such a hot topic, and the future outlook of CSR. What is the future of CSR? Now, what is spurring the CSR trend? We have to look back at a bit of history, which is the rise of civil society and NGOs, and then further strengthened by the response to social obligations. I'll explain one by one. So, back in the 1940s, it was actually started by church and community groups, human rights groups, activists. They started lobbying, wanting their voices to be heard by the company. So, after this, they further improved by establishing NGOs. Of course, I'm sure most of you should know these NGOs over here. They're international NGOs. So, with established corporations, they are able established NGOs, they are able to make their voice heard to the companies and demand for them to give back to the community and the environment in which they gain profit from. And of course, response to social obligation. Nowadays, there are a lot of rules that is practiced all around the world, such as Global Reporting Initiative, Global Compact, ISO. Companies need to gain recognition from this to be able to gain recognition from their customers. So it is a social obligation they need to fulfill. As for the future outlook, there are 3 potential outcomes that are discussed by experts right now. They are the stand and fade scenario, embed and integrate scenario, and transition and transformation. This is very interesting. The stand and fade scenario is, experts say that this is just a passing trend. After this, no one's going to talk about CSR anymore. It's just a hot topic right now. For embed and integrate, that's where CSR is structured, where experts feel that CSR will be successful. It's going to be integrated into companies, and every company is going to have to do it. And last, transition and transformation. Transition and transformation meaning experts will see that there are new type of companies that are going to appear, where their bottom line is no longer profit, they're looking at social impact. So they are out to create social impact, no longer to make profit. So of course the best would be the transition and transformation. So in conclusion, the presentation of our group has covered the